Okay, thank you, Ravi, for hosting the session. We have a wonderful speaker today, Kanaka Ananth. I'll take a quick minute to introduce, and of course, the floor is hers. So, we will let her speak about herself. So, I know Kanaka from a stint that I tried to teach at DJ, and she was a faculty there. Kanaka happens to be architect and industrial designer from National Institute of Design. I think the first batch of toy design, right, Kanaka?
Yeah.
And that's good. And yes, close to about 15, 16 years of work experience, being a design educator, and undertakes a lot of design thinking sessions and other events at corporates, colleges, institutions, many other aspects. But recently, Kanaka is very active in the toy design field, and she has started her own company called Maniams, which focuses on a lot of new toys, especially based on Indian thought processes and other elements that we can think of. Very importantly, looking at certain aspects around, let's say, Ramayana, Mahabharata, based on epic-based thoughts as well, right? Anyhow, I'll not take the this one to explain what they are. I'll let Kanaka do this one. So, welcome, Kanaka. We are very happy to have you today in this session, and the floor is yours from here. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Venki, and thank you, Raj Ravi, for this opportunity to share my journey as a designer. My talk is going to be about my pursuit of happiness through design. And so it's like a storytelling. I'm going to tell you about my journey and different turning points that I had in my life as a designer. So I believe in the mantra that life is like a roller coaster. It has its ups and downs, and it's one wild ride, and it's worth every second. That's what I believe life is all about. And my first turning point in life happened like I was a very creative child, always into drawing, painting, and I have parents who really encourage me in that. And my first turning point, you can say, is that my family always believed in bringing interaction between the family members in decisions that we take. So we were building our house, and it's the first time actually I had an interaction with an architect. And as a child, I was very intrigued by looking at how lines, shapes, and forms actually transformed into spaces that we call homes, offices, schools, and the building, we connect with it as individuals. So I decided to take up architecture in my undergrad. And when I started doing architecture, I was very fascinated by the relationship people had with these spaces and objects. So the first time I was asked to design. Yeah, the first time I was asked to design a children's in a children's room, and I was like very interested in looking at how to actually engage a child in getting up in the morning and making them feel ready to go to school. So I designed 25 years back like a bunk bed where the child actually slides down in the morning. And then when I was asked to design an apartment complex, I was questioning that why should apartment complexes not have a sit out? Like, why should they always have corridors? So can't we have like a sit out and then we enter a house? And I was looking at how clothes are hung in a building and it becomes a sore eye. So can't the clothes become a part of the elevation so that visually it doesn't become a sore eye? So then when I was asked to design an automobile showroom, the car is such a dynamic object, and then suddenly you put it in a static building. So can't the automobile actually look like it's part of a perspective in the building? So I designed the apartment, means automobile car showroom in such a way that the car looks like it's in a perspective, coming out of a arch. So that's how my thought processes was. So I really knew that I am not bent to become a hardcore architect, and I wanted to really deal with people. And that got me to the next turning point in my life, that was taking up a designer's hat. And I got an opportunity to either do product design or toy design. And I really loved toy design because I felt that it's a very interesting field, because when you like, the comedian or joker's job, I think, is the most toughest in a film, because you have to make a person laugh. And that's the same with a toy or game designer. For that moment, he or she is actually designing a product that you actually forgo your stress, your daily life, and you really become a child at that moment. So these were some of the toys that I designed as a student designer. The first toy, which is very close to my heart, which I designed on the left, is like basically a pea family. So I studied how children use daily objects, like putting the sticker in, like the Velcro in their shoe, opening their zip of their school bag. So each of the pea opens in a different way, and then you have a pea, the worm inside, which you can actually connect together, and the packaging is like a piece. So that was the first toy which I designed as a toy designer. And I always used to be somebody who loved questioning. And so I was questioning, can physiotherapy, which is a very painful thing for patients, can I bring game design into it? So I looked at hand movements, how hand exercises happen with the patient. And I designed the whole game inspired from Indian step well. And your fingers actually move like a pawn, and you have cards where you actually pick up the weight in different combination, which is like the exercise they do when you have a fracture, or you have problems with your finger, and the patient can play this with the doctor, nurse, or two patients. So that was a product which I designed. Then this below, you can see, like I was asked to actually, the globes were not selling for a client. This was a real time project. So I transformed the base into a game. So the children go on a voyage like Alexander, and they actually start asking questions, looking for the answer in the globe, and reach their destination. So as a student designer, I really understood about design process, user, iteration, thinking out of the box, feedback. And after I moved into the industry, you see on the left was a like when I worked with Fun School, they asked me, how can you make Othello game with wood. So I came up with the theme of ant hill, and you are a red and black ants, and you need to actually use the same strategy and fill up the ants in the ant hill. And if you see, Fast Track was a game I developed, which was actually to help children learn spelling. So the theme is like, you have a track, and the children actually spell the words right, and they move across, and who reaches the finish. So that's the kind of game strategy. Amazing Me was a game which I wanted to develop to help children have conversations with friends, with family. So here you have elements from their real life, like if you copy, is it right or wrong, having like when your parents are fighting, what do you do in that situation? So these kind of, lots of research was done to come up with these kind of things which the children actually have conversations through play. So when I worked in the industry, I actually understood about market, costing, finance, understanding how competitors work and all that. Then the next turning point I had was when I moved on to working at NID as a young designer. And NID, suddenly the faculty was not there, and they asked me to take a course for the students. And suddenly I was in a mentor's hat. And I really loved that whole process of you going through a thought process, a journey with your student, and you bring their ideas to life, having these conversations, discussions. And as a mentor's hat, I did courses like design history, design movements, form, design process. And I always try to bring in a playway method also in my teaching. So we would do design process. We used to have drama where students actually enact and try to understand user problems. Or in design movements, we used to do like a dance as an element, or like have installations. So it was always, there was a connection with somewhere playway in even as a faculty when I used to teach. And through this stint of so many years of teaching, I looked at thought processes. I was able to interact with artisans and clusters, and I got a very good networking because of such a huge student community that you interact with as a faculty. Then again, you can say a down point came in my life. I lost my only sibling, and he always said, there are no extraordinary people. Ordinary people, when faced with extraordinary circumstances, are capable of doing amazing things. And he used to run Maniams, the brand, and he used to actually was involved in content development, and he was also involved in startups. And suddenly, this whole Maniams as a brand came to me after he passed away, and I started questioning about life itself. I mean, we are there for such a short time. I mean, what are we really meant to do? What's your true calling? and you start looking at life in a very different perspective. You realize life is so short, and what are we going to do or give behind to the society. That's how I transformed Maniams and became an entrepreneur in that turning point of life. And I decided that being a designer, design was my strength. And so I decided to set up a small design studio and also start developing our own brand of toys. And there was this lingering thought was there across my life, where I looked at products in the market. Like if you see Jenga is there, people just rename it as Jenga, change the color to add something, and it's sold. And if you look at stacking toys in the market, the poor artisan is just replicating the same plastic toy in wood, handmade. And they have such amazing skills in India, our artisans, and but they're still making idols, which is there, but there's no innovation truly happening. So I really wanted to connect these dots, which was lingering in my mind. And that led me to actually do a complete market study. I spoke to a lot of parents, and I found that everybody was wanting toys related to Indian values. They were looking at, now sustainability is becoming a norm. They wanted wooden products. And they were looking at products which actually brought logical reasoning, creative thinking in children. So that led to me developing a brand Maniams, where we wanted to have toys inspired from Indian cultural elements, made by artisans, completely handmade, environmental friendly, and we wanted it to become a part of all Indian homes. And so in our study, we looking at the right brain, basically looking at art, looking at how can we develop the creative aesthetic side of the child. So the first toy, we can say as a team that we developed, was a puzzle, and we looked at visual memory, and kolam was a very beautiful motif of our Indian culture. So after studying kolam, its motif, his history, we simplified kolam as a pattern and developed a pattern puzzle with it. And after doing the design process of user testing, we did pattern cards and we refined it to come down to the final product. And when we looked at packaging, we wanted it to be a USP of our brand, and we wanted that unboxing experience of customers to be really interesting. And so we developed the whole product. The base of the packaging is woven basket, so that we help the artisan cluster of India who are into weaving. And we had a very minimalistic, not having too much paper, just basic printing done, which became the USP of our brand. So this is the final product that we develop, which you can use in endless combinations and make patterns with it. It's completely handmade, and we tested it with children with special needs, and it even we looked at people elderly, and people just loved it because there was this nostalgia connected to our culture with the product. So then we built a typography with the motive, which we used in our packaging design. And if you see, these are some user photos of the final product being used by children. And also schools have started using our product for form drawing, which is like a Waldorf methodology of in teaching. So they have been using the product at school. Then this was the first product we developed, and it was we didn't stop with that. We took the typography forward and wanted to see, can we use pattern as an element to teach alphabets, so that it's more fun, and then they learn alphabets with it, shapes with it. And we are happy to say the first product we launched, we won the Toyketan award for it on the creative and logical thinking category. Then we moved on to Rangolio, which is another element of our culture, where we use Rangoli patterns. So which is like a rotational symmetry. So we again did the same kind of design process of making motifs, and we developed a whole range, both natural and colored finish. And you can make endless patterns with these pieces. And here I just want to show you, this is a elderly who actually was suffering from Alzheimer's, and he was very depressed. And his son gifted him Rangolio, and every day he started playing with it. He was so happy that he's creating something new. So I'll just show you the video. And you can see how even elderly become like a child. Basically, they are, they also have issues with orientation. And then, it's helping them in their overall development as they play with the puzzle. So here the son is telling the father that, you have to keep that peace, then only the puzzle will get over. So it was very touching to see this. And then if you see here, we have a child playing with the same puzzle, and how she is actually using the patterns and, developing the motive with the help of the card. Ooh, did you do that? So that's the happiness in her face when she finishes the motive. And the next product we developed was we were looking at the rock art form of India, and how it was very interesting to see how we have come back to the same iconography, icons, and the elements we use in our daily life. So we studied the whole rock art form and how forms or shapes are used to build in storytelling. And we came to basic shapes which actually can be used in endless ways to create a storytelling element in the product. So we call, and all our games we call it by an Indian name, keeping it to our culture. So this is called Akar. So here what happens is the child can make endless possibilities, stories with it. And it was very interesting to see how we found that physiotherapists and if you see psychologists and all of them started using a product in their, even for consultations. Basically, they were able to find the inner feelings of the child, asking them to make a story with it, and telling them what it is, what's happening. And here you can see and we have tried to keep all our toys very open ended, so we just give them a hint of how to use it, and we let the child explore. So here is very interesting to see this boy playing football with these akar pieces. So he's made this footballer, and there is a goal there, and the footballer is hitting the goal with the pieces. And so it was the parents started sending us so many different videos of how all the children are using these pieces. So he's hit the goal in the goal, basically. And here, if you see, this girl was using a booklet. She made the palace, and then she actually made a prince and princess sitting on top of the palace. She was saying they are sitting on the second floor, having a conversation in with these palace and the pieces. Here was another child who used the same pieces. She made a Uttarayan kind of story. So the kite flying. So she said that, that's a person, he's flying the kite, and this is the kite she's using with the pieces. So these were all creative ways the child was using set. And this is a very nice visual given by one of the parents. This is the mother, father, and the boy, and this is the baby, which baby brother he got. So he created this cradle and the baby inside, and they are a happy family. The next product we developed was, we were very fascinated by the jali patterns which is there in our Indian architecture. And so we use that to create a dexterity game. So where you stack the pieces, you have a visual card, and you need to actually pull out the pieces and match it. So we use the artisan skill who are really good with this kind of technique in woodwork. And also these, apart from the dexterity game, these can also be used as a puzzle, because we were playing around with the positive and negative shape, which was not there in many puzzles. So here they are looking at both the positive and negative space in the puzzle to match it. This is again and how open-ended the product was. Like here, a child was using it to make a dominoes effect with this triangle pieces. So you can see him blow, and how it falls down. Uh, this side. And he says, I did it. The happiness, this is a very close to my heart product. So as a child, I spent my childhood in Germany, and I was always questioned by my foreign classmates about why you wear a bindi, why is there kumkum, why are your gods like this. And that was always lingering in my mind. And now also, when I have my nieces coming over, I think that these questions still are in a part of our culture. Like why do we wear bangles, why do we break a coconut? Somebody sitting in South India, we don't know why somebody celebrates Karwa Chauth in North, or someone there doesn't know what is Onam. So we wanted to develop a game which actually brings this whole cultural connection, or we call it connect with the roots through the game. So we developed we took this whole Ramayana's the path which is followed, and made a pathway based game. And we didn't want the game again to be something that is a single board and you just play it. So we wanted every time you play a new experience of the path created. So here the players go in search of the characters, and you have Ravana's 10 heads. So if you pick a card, a path like that, it blocks your path. So you have to get Sita in your path, and that will be the last tile you need to reach. But before that, the other characters of Ramayana, like Lakshman, Hanuman, all of them have to come in your game. And through the game, the children are asked riddles about Indian culture, through which they understand our the deep rooted meaning, and they also get to know the moral values of Ramayana. So we called it Paheli. And the next product we developed was a stacking toy. So we wanted to look at how different ways children use their fingers in their daily activities, and we took inspiration by Indian folk art forms. So if you see Karagam, Bhavai, Chari, these are all dance forms very rooted in our culture, where women actually carry the pots. So we took, and also this significance in rural India of women carrying so many miles the pots on her head. So we took that as an element of inspiration and developed the form in such a way you hold it in different ways. And this is a very, again, an open-ended toy where you actually can stack this. We called it Tula. We can stack it in different ways and in endless combination. So here you can see our artisans, hand painting and making these pieces. And on the right, you can see a boy actually stacking in his own way the toy. And this is a small video to show you how all you can actually stack. And we have taken the same element of how you hold water on our head. We have the element, and then we place it. So that is one way, is another way. So we have let a child can start it in different ways. The next product we developed was, we took Indian embroidery motifs. Like the Kutch embroidery is very unique, and the kind of glass work. So we took that as an inspiration, studied Indian embroidery techniques, and developed this whole set where actually you can make patterns using Indian embroidery. We called it Jodo. And you can see a small 4-year-old actually making these patterns with this. Then the next product we looked at was, we wanted to develop a toy which will actually encourage children to crawl. And crawling is a very important milestone in the child's developmental process, because it helps the balance between the left and right brain. So we took inspiration from Indian leaf forms and developed this toy called Goom, So it's a simple toy which actually when you push it moves a little forward and the child actually goes forward to push it. So this is just a video of a small toddler in the crawling stage who is actually playing with him. And you can see here how we have actually tried to keep our media, social media also very Indian, like the way we actually put our posts about, Onam. We use our toys in all our posts, like Ganesh Chaturthi, Krishna Jayanti, Gandhi Jayanti. And you can see how we have slowly, it's been a year now since we started a brand, and you can see how it's reached many homes across India where people have started using it for Navratri Golu or Rangoli or Kolam. People have used it for Ganesh Chaturthi, Krishna Jayanti. And here we had a child who made this card using Akar pieces to celebrate Onam. So we have reached homes, and this is a very lovely post somebody shared with us, the grandma and grandchild playing. And the mother says that this toy, the level of discussion, collaboration, screams of joy and anger it has brought between the grandma and grandchild, and they love our traditional toy. Here, another mom shared this child's photo of how he turned yesterday, and he's still been playing with the rangoli and not ready to come and have dinner. This was a written note sent by some children about Paheli, where one boy said, "I felt like I was Rama going in search of Sita." And about how the gods are like angels, and they are helping them keep Ravana at bay. So and you can see this picture says 1,000 words. When the smile, the kind of giggle the children give when they play with our toys, I think that's the pursuit of happiness I was looking for in my life. And I would like to end saying that happiness is not something you postpone for the future. It's something you design for the present. So that's our, you can, if you would like to look at what we are doing, Studio Maniams is our Insta handle, and you can WhatsApp us at this number if you would like to, buy our toys for gifting or even corporate gifting. And we are also available across all these websites, e-commerce sites. So thank you.
Thanks a lot, Kanaka. So we'll open the floor for questions. Really wonderful stuff that we can see in terms of your varied, applications of design the toys and other areas as well. I know we have Professor Atwankar, who is a fan of games. Sir, I'm sure you will have some questions.
No, I frankly like the work. I was watching it all the time, and she is narrowed down onto a niche which is very unique. So I congratulate her. She's done a wonderful
Thank
job.
you, sir. Thank you. You are like a role model for me. I mean, Balram sir, you and all are like mentors and like gurus for us. And hearing that from you, I'm really so happy and glad, sir. Thank you. I need your blessings so that we continue to do well.
Yeah, no, this is a wonderful work. And what I liked about it is it can stand competition to this plastic model toys, which are terrible. And it has a unique roots in the culture. So it's a wonderful work you're doing.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Aditi, go ahead. Aditi has a question.
Hi, thank you so much. Kanaka, this is so brilliant. Thank you so much for sharing your work. I'm just curious, and I'm actually kind of like running my practice in a parallel format in a way that we run a design and craft studio, and we are getting to designing games actually, using the traditional crafts that we practice at the studio. So I'm just curious on the business front of it. Could you share your experience a little bit on what is the scale that you work with artisans, and what's your approach in general? Like, do you think because I think scalability can be an issue with handmade products. So how do you really deal with that? If you could throw some light on it.
Yeah, actually, see, we are trying to follow a boutique concept
Finally,
now.
you
So,
could switch off the presentation, then we can.
yeah, sure.
Sorry.
Uh,
Sorry, please go ahead.
Yeah, so we are trying to follow a boutique kind of concept. So because it's handmade, we are focusing on through our Insta handle basically. So we are trying to work with that kind of a niche. So we get pre-orders from people, and then we make it, and then we give it to the customer. And we also are actually launching a product, and then if it's doing well, we increase our production. So that way we are working. But there are a lot of artisans, so we are working around with 50 or 60 of them currently. But we if the product does very well, and we get bigger orders, then they are all ready to actually do it. So the thing is that currently just been a year, so we are also trying to find out the pulse of the market. I think with so many artisans, and if we actually give them the hope that there is good business and they will get orders, I'm sure many of them, the younger generation, also will be ready to work. So it's mainly that they are not getting enough orders, that they are not able to sustain.
Right. Thank you so much for sharing. I think this is very inspiring work. Thank you.
Thank you, Aditi.
And Kanaka, Aditi actually does a lot of work with skills she's based in Udaipur.
Okay, wow, wonderful city. I mean, I'm always in awe with Rajasthan. And we can connect later, Aditi. Surely we can even collaborate together in any way. I'll be more than happy to do that.
That'll be wonderful. I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you.
Sure.
Raj has a question. Kanaka, actually, you can unshare your presentation so that your video is.
Yeah, 1 second.
You should, yeah. This is
We are fine. Raj, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say one thing which I was finding across your toys was that I played with Lego. I'm sure a lot of people have played with Lego. What was interesting was that it gives you flexibility in terms of, okay, you're just giving the parts and you're telling them, okay, explore your creativity. I think more of such openness is needed so that you can children are able to really. Children can really think differently from adults compared to. So I think that's probably that's a very interesting thing I was finding across your.
Yeah, that is. We have kept our focus that way. I mean, every toy we develop, we have kept that open-endedness because our whole core philosophy is to bring that creative thinking in children. So we don't want them to play it in only one single way, and let them explore and do. And show something interesting out of it. Yeah. So I hope we can keep doing that with all what we do.
All the best. All the best.
Thank you.
Hi, Kanaka. This has been really a wonderful program that you have done it. And really, the children can explore many creative things with these simple toys that you are showing them. So we can really learn from them that they can do with simple few things, how many things they can go into a wide spectrum, like, many things they can complete. That's, wish you all the best.
Thank you, Parvati Aunty. Thank you. I mean, I think for us, one other blessings is the seniors. I mean, I think for us, many of our customers are grandparents, who are looking for something very culturally rooted to give it to their grandkids. Many of our customers are, grandparents going abroad and they want to take something very Indian to their grandchildren living abroad. That's what we're trying to also do.
It's better than that Lego, which is a small piece and one piece gone. It's really better.
So I have a question. Have you tried to integrate something like a magnet into it to avoid things getting lost or something?
Yeah, magnet. We didn't want to. We avoid using magnets because one of the major accidents that happen with children's product is the magnet being swallowed by the child. The cases have been very high. So, and also when we are working with handmade, it's a little tough to also see that we make it in such a way that the magnet actually remains intact. So we avoided it purposefully. We could have easily integrated magnet into all our puzzles, but we consciously avoided it. So it was a conscious decision from our end.
So do you give like extra few things so that if something gets lost, people can put together? Is there something like that?
Like most of the time, we have never found anybody saying that they lost the piece. And mostly we found one interesting thing is the basket which we are giving. They are all storing the pieces in the basket itself. So if you see many of the photos of the shells, parents are sharing, they're saying the basket has become like a Maniam's USP. So they are storing the toy, playing, putting it back in the basket, and keeping it in the shelf, and they bring it back out and they play it and keep it back. So that's one analysis we did in our research, that people throw away the packaging when they are buying the product, and the whole print ink which goes in making that boxes is just gone waste. So we wanted to see that what we give, it remains with them. So we have used a basket, and even the pouches are handmade, screen printed, stitched by women and men, and so we give that along with the product. So they store it that way. So till now, we didn't find anyone saying that they lost it. So let's see.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
I think Atto sir has a question here.
Just a query. When you scale up using craft, there is a problem of consistency and quality maintenance. Have you come across any strategies that are used to see that the quality is maintained and accuracy is maintained?
Yeah, so what we do is we actually put it on the artisan. So we tell them that if it's a reject, then they have to actually give us make it again. So they become very conscious about maintaining the quality. And every time we do prototyping, we tell them where they're going wrong. Like this is where the precision is going wrong, and or we redesign certain elements where we know that, like for example, tricona, we tried 3, 4, 5 different type of cuts, and then we asked the artisan which was there, they were finding easy to make, and and then where the precision was. So we every time are using the artisan also to help us decide on our design choices, so that it's easy for them to make it as well. So that's keeping our quality in check. And we have got customers who have told that the quality is in par with what they have bought. Many of them have taken it abroad, and they said it's equal to some of the foreign products they have seen. So I think we are keeping the quality check.
One thing, Kanaka, is it available in the open market or you have to purchase it only online?
So we have focused on online market. So we have not gone to retail so far because we designed it for the online market, for e-commerce. Yeah. So we have not yet moved to retail, or we have not gone for exhibitions. Maybe that will be the next step we have to look at.
So when we want to buy, how do we know that which are the things that is available and how
we have an Amazon? Yeah, we have an Amazon store. So where you can see all our products, and then we normally are working through WhatsApp because that's very convenient for most people. So we have a catalog, you can see all our products and you can buy. So most people are very happy with that method.
Because we must know not how it will fit for a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old child accordingly, age-wise.
Yeah, we have given age categories for all our products. So and we want to have that personal connection. So moms, text us to Instagram. They tell us, okay, my child loves this kind of. So we are trying to become that kind of a brand which has this personal connection with this customer. So moms say that my child likes this kind of thing. So what would work for him or her? So we are able to even tell them, and that's helping us also help in our user study and next what should we launch. So that personal touch we are trying to keep as a brand.
So it should help out some slow learners also, like autistic children.
Because
they don't have the socializing. They may be happy with these toys, so they are in that type of. Okay, that's it.
Have you considered having children uploading their own photographs of their own creations on a website, or it already done?
We have Instagram handle, so mostly it's shared there by moms and through their handle. That's how we are getting the data from the parents. So Instagram has become now very popular with the mothers. So they keep sharing through that.
Because children love it that other people see it. No? So that's a good thing you've done.
Yeah.
Ravi, you had a question?
Yeah. Kanaka, the question I have is about for toys and those that deal with things that children use. Are there specific regulatory standards in India? I mean, they have to be subjected to certain standards. Is there a laid out norms of what these products should be subjected to? Are there some tests that you go through for this?
Yeah, BIS standard is there, but it is mandatory for manufacturers who are doing in large scale. So because we are working in handmade segment, we don't have that kind of thing, but we have consciously seen that whatever we design, we keep the standard. So the paints we use is non-toxic, and all. So we maintain all those standards in designing, because BIS is very expensive for small players like us, because we don't have the bandwidth of having a complete factory setup. But we are consciously keeping all that in mind when we develop our products.
Okay, thank you.
Punya? Yeah, you had a question?
Hello, this is Raghuram. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're
Yes.
audible.
Kanaka, your products are wonderful. See, from my days of IDC till today in this 40 years, I have not seen anyone and so dedicated at working on Indian cultural toys. Even from those days of our students and, thinking of alternative to this, what is it called? This Barbie dolls and Superman and He-Man and, the Glider Man. So I was just wondering all along your presentation, my mind was just going in how I can make a Kanaka scale up to about 1,000 times or million times, and how do you think that you can handle that kind of a challenge to reach every home at different price segments and different age groups? I was just wondering, and how I could really help you to reach that kind of a different levels and the segment and the play segment. I'm serious. It should reach. That's a kind of a reach it should have. I know that you are making it by hand, where it's a question of scalability, but should be some kind of a method where we should make it reachable by decentralizing or putting a kind of a quality of a standard. I'm just wondering. I could not still get an answer, or it just all along your presentation, I was just thinking how these products could be scaled, and different products for different age groups. It could reach to really that kind of a level where instead of buying this Chinese toys or this Barbie dolls and things like that, every mom and every kids will just buy it at that kind of a price range.
Thank you. I mean, we can surely scale it up if we go for machine made, because most of them can be, but then consciously we have kept it handmade. So if we want to, we can scale it up. But then I thought that now what we are doing, we are really helping this segment of artisan and handmade. So that's it. But then
see with the kind of a laser cutters and the kind of a technology, we can think of any design across the table, even customize. We can tell the kids to design and you'll design and you just post on. I was just thinking of, to make it more hit among the kids, you can make it even customized. We can give them some kind of an option and they can design and send it. You can laser cut and just send it back to them, whatever the shape they wanted.
Yeah, and artisans actually, see, there are a lot of
Yeah.
clusters. It is just that the clusters are located in different parts of India. So somewhere networking the clusters and then working with them is the task. And then seeing that that quality is matched. So that kind of a work has to be done. Uh, but I don't know. I'm like still in this. It's been a year now, so how big should I scale? All that is something, because as I told you, it was a pursuit of happiness. So I was not doing this for money. I was doing this
No,
more.
no, I understand,
Yeah,
but somewhere that it has to reach to that kind of a customer at some point of time.
yeah,
I will be very happy if it reaches this kind of a toys to about millions of mothers and children, that they really get out of something when this kind of a culture. And this can be scaled up even for exports. And recently, last year, I understand that there was a government program for specifically for toys, where they have just, so this fits in very well for the funding or developing or some kind of, maybe I can just send you some links and people in Delhi who could
sure,
just
sure,
help you out to just go to that kind of a next level. They'll be very happy to
sure.
look
We'll
at this
we'll
kind of.
connect surely. We can maybe you can
You are placed from where, Kanaka?
Coimbatore, South India, Coimbatore.
Oh,
Yeah.
நம்ம ஊர் தான். Okay.
Good.
I'm Raghuram. I'm from the 5th batch of MDes, and my wife Rama from the 1st batch of VC IDC, 80,
Okay.
83, 85. We'll
So where
connect.
are you? You're based in?
I head the lovely professional university product design, and 10 years before I started the department, brick by brick, there were 4 students. Now there are about 800 students. So so it's a huge university. Only in design department, architecture, product design, industrial interior design, and graphic design and animation, we have about 800 students.
Wow.
So I head there. I go there for 3 days. I wanted to retire. They are not leaving me. So I'm there 3 days, 4 days I'm in Delhi.
Okay.
I'll come down. When I come down to South, I'll definitely connect. We'll catch up on WhatsApp. I'll mail you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
In Delhi, I have connects. My wife Rama also can help you. I wanted to really take it to the next level, where I want these toys to reach to every home. Maybe different designs, or customize, or some scaled up level. So I'm very keen on that. This I've been almost for about past 30-40 years that I was thinking in any toy in this market that could just compete to all this culturally. I think that you have done the right approach. Good. I appreciate.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I appreciate. All the best.
Thank you.
Keep in touch.
Sure.
Nimesh, you have a question?
Yeah. So Kanaka, my question is, what kind of scale have you reached yet?
So we are selling around 40, 50 of them per month. I mean, it's been just a year, right? So it took us, but then now one nice thing is that first our toys were being sold in mostly in south cities. So Chennai, Bangalore. So now we have started reaching Delhi, Bombay. So those kind of cities people have started to get to know us. So we have not done any marketing as such. So most of our products are selling word of mouth. So we have to start looking at marketing ourselves now, next level. But then word of mouth is what it's selling. I mean, everybody tells someone and someone connects with us. And I was part of the Google's course on digital marketing. So I had mentors from Google and ISB. So my question to them was, should I set up my website and do all this thing? And then they said, if Instagram is working well for you, you focus on that, because the moms are there and the customer is directly connected there. So I'm focusing more through Instagram and influencer marketing, and trying to go through that way and build the brand, basically.
Okay. So are you seeing a healthy trend of growth?
Yeah, it's slowly improving. I mean, and the only problem is that we don't know. Sometimes, one toy will sell like suddenly, then another one will sell. So it keeps changing. And slowly, so we need to understand the seasons also. What's happening is like a kolam rangoli towards Diwali, that kind of season it starts selling because of the, connection there. So we are also trying to understand. And also we need to increase our SKUs because the age groups is so huge, from babies to toddlers and everything. So we're slowly trying to increase our so parents are messaging or asking us, do you have something for a 1-year-old? So now most of our toys were like between 4 to 6, that age group. So now we're slowly building more towards that. So slowly we are building our SKUs also. But now I think we need to slowly work on marketing and see how, spend more on that to increase our visibility. And I think when we do such talks also, people get to know us, what we are doing. That way.
Sure. Okay. No, good.
Thank you.
Very good. All the best.
So, Kanaka, thank you. I know you mentioned about usage with special children, right? Have you reached out to any of these? There are plenty of schools nowadays focusing on specially able children, right? So, were you able to reach, some of these schools, and any experiences specifically in terms of feedback from them and how it's applied? What did they study? What feedback did we get?
So we have, our puzzles are doing well with, because mostly puzzles are something which children with autism and all really love. And they have, parents who have such children have actually bought it and given us a positive feedback. And some schools, regular schools, and 1 or 2 schools which have children with autism have also bought our products for their school. And they've given us a very positive feedback, and they have connected our product catalog with their circle of parents who have such special needs children. So it's been positive. And products like Akar also is helping as a communication tool. So some psychiatrists and even psychometric professionals have also given us a positive feedback about it. So, but we have not consciously gone looking and marketing that way, which we need to start now, because all this while I am like, me and my team are been focusing on developing the brand, the product, and all. Now we because we were not sure how is going to be the response, seeing that the artisans' qualities. So now we have come to a level that we know that we're going in the right track. Now we need to start looking at building the brand, where all this connecting with schools and all that will have to start doing that to increase our sales.
Sure. Good one.
We even gave a presentation to a senior citizen home where many elderly love kolam, and they can't sit and put kolam nowadays because of age. So they really loved it. They bought it for themselves because it's like a stress buster. So even adults are buying, and corporate gifting also it's working. Last time Diwali, we got a corporate dollar from Bombay because they loved that handmade, and for foreigners and all, Trikona and all is a very nice product. And something Indian which they give as a company. So we are getting corporate orders also. So, but then we tell them we need some time and then we deliver. So that is also one other category we can, because it's like a lifestyle product also, some of them, which can work well as corporate gifts.
True. And especially I think in COVID, I remember you telling it was also this one where families came together, right? Instead of sitting and watching mobiles.
Yeah.
They were able to get together as a family.
Yeah.
Good one.
In a way, you said senior citizen, no? In a way, even it can help these Alzheimer's people also.
Yeah.
So doing it anything rather than, because on the crossword puzzle and everything that requires little more. When this and all that, they arrange the products and all that, the outcome and all that, the member keeps them active a little bit.
Yeah.
That way also it can help out a bit. All the best, Kanaka. Wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll just take you from this week. Take care. All the best.
Thank you.
Ravi, you have a question or you want to?
No, just a comment. I think one of the commendable thing in this is that you managed to take children away from the digital devices. I think that is, I mean, you made some study on, or make a study on how much you're able to do, and also project this as a value for branding and marketing your toys.
So that's why many people told me, "Are you crazy from digital? You're going back to." But then I thought this is desperately needed, so that like Paheli and all, many parents have told me that the whole family came together. They kept playing it, and the grandparents sitting in the other room came over. They had conversations about festivals. So we wanted consciously to get them out of the screen time and really actually bond together as family.
That's really commendable.
Very true. Anyone else? We have just 2 more minutes. Yeah, I guess that's. Yeah, I guess I don't see any more questions. Ravi, you want to do the?
You want to have a Venki? Go ahead. Please go ahead.
Sure. So first of all, Kanaka, wonderful this one. Your experience, your journey through this whole thing has been really commendable. As you can see, the feedback that came from everybody, their views, wonderful journey, right? That's most important. And like Ravi mentioned, in this age, I think the biggest addiction people have is the digital medium. And if you're doing something to take people away, and that also keeps them not only individually involved but also as groups, right? I think that's a big shift that is actually happening. And like I forgot the gentleman's name from Pune Education. He said, "We wish you that it scales up drastically. It goes to many homes, many this one, not only in India but also elsewhere across the world. And please do share your catalog and other things. We'll put it up in the alumni group, and wherever possible, my request to all the participants, please do share with your networks. And I'm sure this has potential to reach many more homes. Most importantly, it can be used as not only a toy for children in this one. There are many other benefits that we can see in the educational field as well. So request all the participants to share it with their network and with their families and other places where it's possible. I'm sure this has much more reach and much more application as well. Once again, Kanaka, thank you for the wonderful talk. Definitely, eye-opening experience for us. Most of us are used to seeing lots of stuff that's happening in the digital field, or the product related areas, that too at a scale which is typically industrialized, right? So, and also you're supporting a lot of craft related stuff that is also commendable. Very thoughtful processes, right from packaging to the design of the toy and the involvement of the artisans. I think you've touched lots of things, right? Amazing journey, amazing
Thank you, Venki. And I think Venki has been one of my first set of customers who really helped our brand build itself, sharing it with his friends and families. Thank you, Venki, and thank you all of you for joining and giving me this opportunity. And like Venki said, if you can please share our brand, and become our brand ambassador in one way, because each of you are from different cities across India, and that'll be a nice way for people to get to know what we are doing.
Sure, we will do that, Kanaka. At least from our part, we should do it. The whole intention is it should scale up and it should reach people.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm just
go ahead.
Stop the recording, so we could. I just stop the recording and we could just stay on for a conversation. That's okay.
Sure. Anybody else? Any other